Hello, you all. Welcome to this special edition of Lectio Musica, the place for great music, great lyrics, and great meaning. My name is Guilain Prince. I'm a Franciscan friar from Canada, and I love rock music forever, especially hard rock, metal, and prog. This special is to present to you my top four of 2020, not the top four of my mind, not the top four of my rationality, but my gut choices of 2020, those I want to keep among the new album of this year. So let me give you first the screen. Maybe you don't know me, but here is where do I come from. I love rock music, but I don't listen to everything. I make choices, and quite strong choices. I love great music. It has to be music, first of all. Second, it has to be well written. I love you, baby, thank you, love you, ba ba ba. I don't like these songs. I want something great in terms of lyrics. And thirdly, I love songs with meaning. They say something, they talk about something, they tell great stories. So I'm able to say, oh, that's a great riff. That's great riff. Oh, it's a catchy chorus. But if I don't like the meaning of the song, I might go back once or twice, but it will not be a keeper for me. I like to listen to songs that I will be from all the dimensions of my life. I will appreciate, love, and enjoy. So these songs, they have to be well crafted, and they have to say something. And for me, this is always my criteria every time. When I say I love a song, all of this is in there. Now, these are not my cerebral choices. It is from my guts. Like I said, I want to fall in love with a song I agree with. And over 22 new albums I listened in these fields: prog, metal, and hard rock. These are the four albums I want to keep in my discotheque for the future. So these are the four albums I keep, and I keep going back to them. I love them. I have them in my phone, and I go back to them in my car with my beautiful earphones. I will talk to you a little bit more about these choices, why I love them so much. Are you ready? Are you ready? We begins with number 4. The first album I loved of this year is the album Who by the band The Who. Technically, it's an album that came out. It came out on December 6th last year, over a year ago. But I was informed of this album only in January. And basically, the January and February was with this album, The Who. My soundtrack of January and February is this album. It's the most joyous experience of all Beards of Rock I had for a long time. The voice is still very, very good. The music is excellent. And the lyrics, oh my lord, they are, to be frank, I love a little bit there. We call this in French irreverence, their defiant mind, I could say in English. It's a little bit of an eclectic product, this album. You have sounding old songs, but very modern topics. There are probably some songs, rare files from their vaults, and there are songs that they sound really, really from today. So there's a little bit of everything, but it's very consistent. I cannot say it's inconsistent. It is new style, new energy, but still great music, great lyrics. And getting older doesn't rhyme with irrelevance and uselessness. They are really good. They have modern questions being treated very well, and if they don't want to be wise, that's the topic of song number 3. There is still quite a bit of reflection and legitimate question. Let's listen to the first song.
I don't care. I know you're gonna hate this song. And that's it. We never really got along.
This first song, the very first of the album, gives you right away both the quality. The production of the album is excellent. It's really excellent. But I don't care if you like me or not. I will tell you out loud what I think. And I love it. I love it. I listen to this album with a big smile in my face, really enjoying every minute of it. So that's why I recommend it to you as number 4. Ready for number 3? There it is. An album from Kansas, The Absence of Presence. Kansas is another old band of the 70s. You know from this band 2 songs, probably, maybe more. There is the first one.
Carry on my wayward son.
And here's the second one.
Same old song.
Now you can say you know Kansas. At least a little bit. What you might not know is that Kansas is a band of the 70s with 3 albums that are considered masterpieces. But it's in the prog trend. It's a combination. They say themselves that they are a combination of Genesis and Yes, but with a very clear and strong American identity. And when I say that, I mean lots of guitars, extraordinary vocal harmonies, 4 or 5 voices most of the time, and there is a violin in prog rock. It's one of the very few prog band with a touch of folk and or country style. It's in Canada we really talk about Americana sound, really North American sound. One of the original members is still there, the drummer and the leader of the band, Phil Earhart. He will be 70 years old in February 2021. 70 years old. Yeah? Let's listen. The second song of the album made me fall completely in love with the whole album. I wanted to get to know them better, to listen and read the words with a lot of attention. This album is really relevant in 2020. In fact, I have to say that this band exists for 40 years now, and the 2 last albums, the one of 2018 and this one, both of them to me are gem. And this band come with a very relevant and modern album in 2020. It came out in July. It has been the music of my summer. Prog music, metal, power ballads, intricate song, but always very gutly and professionally played. They are people, they not only touch, sometimes prog music can touch your mind, your intelligence, but but not all prog music will give you a gutly reaction, will provoke something from the guts in you. They really are. And they are among also the most professional, perfectionist band in the world. I've heard some members. I remember an interview with Brian May from Queen, saying that Freddie Mercury, Brian May, and all the band, they saw Kansas as their first part, and they said these guys are exceptional. You know, even other professionals, they say that these guys are remarkable. And this is very interesting because the whole album talks about physical closeness, being proximity, but at the same time being far from each other, whether it's because of our telephones or because in terms of communications we are not at the same level. There's something, we are close physically, but there's distance emotionally sometimes also as well. And they really talk about how creativity and life will burst out in that digital world of ours. So the music is great. I love this album. I come to it very regularly, and it will be a keeper for me for 2020. Are you ready for the next one? You are maybe not ready for this one because you probably don't know them. The album Queen of Hearts from Liliac. What's Liliac? You never heard of them? Yeah, well, it in 2020 came out the most infectious, I call it like this, record I've heard in years. In the 80s, there was hard rock and metal, and these two trends made extraordinary earworms. You know, this music that cannot come out of your mind and your heart. You keep humming, you keep singing these melodies. Liliac is as if one or two of these bands together, they were transported through time in today's situation, and they play and now they are completely anachronistic, we say in French, anachronic. Everything about them is 80s. Their music is 80s, their sound, their very melodic sound and music, and even their videos, they are shot the old ways. I mean, it's always the band pretending to sing live, and it's built, and their aesthetics is 80s. Everything is 80s. So, and it's so enjoyable. If you liked hard rock and metal from the 80s, you will fall in love with them. I'm telling you. This is an album of 13 songs. I will come back a little bit later. They are bat in Romania. Their parents come from Romania. They are in United States, but their parents are from Romania. So they use the word bat, Liliac, in Romania as their name. But everything about them is energy, well-crafted song, first-class artistic direction. They know what they do, and they know how to be effective in doing it. Now, listen to them.
Shutting me up. I'm screaming. Can you hear me? Are you hiding something? Is there something you can't?
You are not dreaming. The band is a family band. The oldest is 21. Yeah. The basic trio is made of Samuel, the oldest, 21 years old, is the lead guitarist and back vocal. The second one is Abigail, the drummer. She's 20. most charismatic drummer I've seen in years. She is so fun to watch for Nightwish fans. You know how you love to watch Yuka drumming? She's not at the level of Yuka yet. She's only 20. But she has the same pleasure to play. She sings the lyrics. I don't know if she has a good voice, but she sings all the time. She has so much fun behind her drums. She's a joy to watch. A very charismatic musician. And Melody is a spectacular bass player, doubled with a unique voice. She describes her voice as a blend of Dio and David Lee Roth. And that's exactly what you get. This gritty, raspy voice with the ability to do some kind of screams that are extremely energetic. I am I love them so much. I find them exceptional. This trio already would be unbelievable, okay? But they have the two youngest in the background for now, but I don't think they will stay there long. Very long, because the 14 years old bassman and rhythmic guitarist is called Ethan. He's already he sounds great, even live he sounds great. And I see by his attitude that he wants to share a little bit of the spotlight. Two paths are in front of him, as I see. He could surf on the I would say the prodigies that of his older siblings, you know. They are great. The trio, basic trio, they are great. He could surf on that and only play the fundamental like they used to do in the 80s on the bass drum. It's boom, 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 boom. Okay, he could do it very, very basically. But it seems to me that he doesn't want to do that. And if this guy learns from the greatest, I'd say in 70s, Chris Squire from Yes, and in the 80s, Geddy Lee. If he wants to share the spotlight and really learn and work hard, this band, I call him the secret weapon of Liliac. If this guy at 14 years old can play as he is, he can be something incredible. The band would be with a great bassman, and who knows, maybe also a singer. As for Justin, probably this young man of 13 years old playing a very decent piano and keyboards. I know many progressive band or metal band with the bassman only playing very basic keyboards. He's already beyond that. At 13, he plays very good piano parts in Sail Away, for example. But if this young man, many people will tell him, keyboards shouldn't be in metal, it shouldn't be. Don't listen to these people. They know nothing. Go and watch the European band with great keyboardists. A flamboyant keyboardist of Epica. He puts on a show as much as the singers and the guitarists, and see how great keyboardists like the one of Nightwish, like Thomas Holopainen, is the backbone in terms of music of the band. And before that, we had in the prog trend, we had Tony Banks from Genesis, and we had the flamboyant Rick Wakeman from Yes, and so many others. Don't let the people tell you that keyboard has nothing to do with metal. Just tell them, hey, I'm from Romania. My family comes from Europe, and in Europe, keyboardists are great in metal music. They are absolutely great. It's not a band, it's a family project. The whole family, they have been some part of the homeschool. Their family became a rock academy, evolving around projects of studio recording, making sounds, making music, making videos, public performance as well at a very young age. So at 21, 20, 18, 14 and 13, they are already seasoned musician in a way. In performances, they, of course, they don't have the experience of people's in their 80, in their 30s or late 20s. I don't care. They are great. They are absolutely great. So I love them so much. I have to tell you, it came out. This album came out in October. Since then, it's the go-to record. All moods in my car, I listen. I call this my daily potion or my daily shot of Nightwish for energy, for joy, for happiness. I love him. Just a small note for those of you who are Christians and metalheads. You know, Christians are telling us we shouldn't listen to that music, and metalheads are saying, "What are you doing here? You're so dumb." Well, this band, this family band, according to their site, have been shunned from their Christian communities because of the music they play. But happily, they found a new church where they are welcome with open arms, and they can play their music. And it shows in their music that they are people of principles. They are not preaching in any way, but we can see here and there the color of the values we share. So I love him. I love him. So enjoyable. And there is my number one of 2020. Maybe some of you knew already what I was about to tell you. My very best of this year, we say in French, coup de cœur, directly in the heart for me, spot on, bullseye, I don't know how to say it. To my taste, it is among the very best record I ever heard in my life. I would say it's about, in the top 5 ever. All trends included. I simply love this record with all my heart. I call it sophisticated symphonic metal. To me, everything is great about this album. The music, the lyrics, the meaning of the songs. Let's listen their single called Noise. Not only this song is great, all the songs in their own way are great, all the musical pieces as well. In this band, there is a mastermind, the keyboardist and composer Thomas Holopainen. As a songwriter, personally, I don't see anybody of this level actually. I think he is in a class by himself. But the band Nightwish, being formed more than 20 years ago, is now completely mature as a band and express the composer's vision in, I would say, impossible to match, to be quite frank. A very tight and powerful rhythmic section. The female lead singer, to me, is impossible to match at this point. She is, like I said again, in a class by herself. She can do it all. She can do everything. The male lead singer, the bassist Marco, for me, it's one of the best voices of metal. And both Flor, the singer, and Marco are remarkable performers in the way they sing, but in the way they behave in a show. And also, of course, the great keyboardist and composer in Thomas. This band is remarkable. For me, when I am in my best chair with my best headphones. This is the album I want to listen to. I want with them to travel in landscapes I never thought possible. This is truly symphonic metal. So great orchestras, choirs, symphonic bands, and it goes beyond that. It's great music, great music. Like this, the title suggested it is it's a celebration and a critique of the human world, but always the human world always understood as part of nature, in to which nature the album gives I think 30 minutes. So I would say the songs are 50 minutes, 50-ish, and the instrumental section about nature is 30 minutes. So this is a journey of 80 minutes, and I loved every minute of it. I made very long reactions videos and analysis if you want to go a little bit further in any of the songs and musical pieces of the album. So here they are, dear friends, my top 4 personal choices of 2020. Human Nature, Queen of Hearts, Absence of Presence, and Who by The Who. Now, just a small word. What am I looking for in 2021? I know these albums will come out of these people, and I really want to see what it will be. First of all is Epica, the fabulous band from the Netherlands. It seems that there's already a single out. I haven't listened because I will do an extensive analysis of the album somewhere in, I think it's in February 2021. The band Greta Van Fleet, I don't know if you know them. They are very young, I think around between 20 and 25, but they grew up on the music of their parents, which is basically Led Zeppelin and the bands from the 70s. They are very young, but they have a sound and a mindset of the 70s. Their music is fabulous. The singer is very small. He's a tiny man, but his voice is very high. I really love them. I have them in my phone. I listen to them in my car. And their album will come out in 2021. Evanescence, you already know this band. There are, I think, 2 or 3 singles already out at the end of this year, but the album as a whole will be in 2021. And the other one is, for me, My Question Mark. Maybe you remember seeing from AGT a young girl of 13 years old coming out very shy. She is a very shy young woman, and literally flabbergasting everyone. I mean, with an incredible, powerful voice of the 70s. She grew up for 2-3 years anyway, with Etta James, with James Brown, the music of the 70s, Tina Turner. She had that voice, and she had these moves. She freely moves it. I don't know if it's dancing, it's more moving to the rhythm of music, but she frees from her body a music that seems to come from another time. And she made few covers in the past year and a half, but her first album of originals and cover will come out in 2021. If you want to see how she sings at 16, 15 years old, go and watch her singing Old Time Roads. And if you want to see one of her originals, Pretty Little Things. A Pretty Little Thing, singular. She's a time traveler. You will enjoy. She's just having so much fun singing, and we participate in that as well. And she recreates the covers she makes, which to me is quite strong at 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. Is quite remarkable. I don't know, she's under a label called Arista in the Sony. I don't know what will come out of this. I really don't know. But her as a person is interesting. I think you might enjoy watching one or two videos of them. So this is what I expect. I'm looking forward for 2021. I hope you like this little top 4 of 2020. Have a great end of year. See you in 2020. We begin with a journey through Rush, 10 songs in chronological order, and it will be phenomenal. See you. Bye bye.